My mother sacrificed me for my sister for years, even taking away my own happiness, but when she crossed the final line, I had evidence that changed everything. My mother sacrificed me for my sister for years. I did not understand that in a single day. The realization slowly settled inside me, like fog gradually covering the path on a cold winter morning. As a child, I believed this was what family love looked like, this was what sacrifice meant, this was the role an older sister was supposed to play. But with time I learned that loving someone and losing yourself completely are not the same thing. My younger sister Sarah had always been my mother's priority. She was fragile, emotional, and my mother believed it was her responsibility to protect her from every hardship. I was the strong one, or maybe I was simply made into one. Whenever something went wrong at home, my mother would look at me and say, "You're the understanding one. You'll handle it." For years I thought those words were a compliment. Then one day I realized they were actually a quiet command, one that left no room for my own dreams. When Sarah wanted to go to college, my plans were put on hold. I changed my educational path so I could help with family expenses. When she needed to move to another city for her first job, I gave up my own opportunities and stayed behind to be there for my mother. Every time I was told it was only temporary, but that temporary slowly turned into years. I built a life for myself, but always around the needs of others. I got married, created a comfortable home, and attended my children's PTA meetings, where I always tried to be the perfect mom everyone admired. At Thanksgiving dinners, our entire family would sit around the table, smiling, taking pictures, and pretending everything was perfect. But somewhere inside that room was a quiet woman who knew her own story had been pushed into the background. I still remember those Sundays when my mother, Sarah, and I would go to Costco, buying small things and enjoying what had become our family tradition. But even during those simple trips, I felt that the biggest decisions in my life were always being made for someone else's benefit. I never complained because I had been taught that good daughters do not question their families. Years passed and conversations about retirement plans for 1K, as my children's futures and household responsibilities continued. But inside me, one question remained quietly alive. If I had spent my entire life living for everyone else, where had my own life gone? The real change came the day my mother crossed the final line. After my father passed away, she decided that a large portion of the family home should go to Sarah because she needed it more. I said nothing at first because I knew an argument would only reopen old wounds. But this time I had something I never had before: proof of the truth. Years earlier, when my father was sick, he had prepared legal documents. Those papers clearly stated that the property would be divided equally between both daughters. I found them by accident while cleaning out an old storage box. I did not use them immediately because my goal was never to humiliate anyone. I only wanted to know whether anyone had ever truly seen the sacrifices I had made. I spent months preparing quietly. I spoke with a lawyer, organized every record, and made sure everything was in order. I was not angry, I felt something different. I felt calm because for the first time in my life I was making a decision for myself. When the day came to discuss everything with my family, everyone expected me to stay silent like I always had. My mother repeated the same words, saying Sarah needed more and that I had always been the strong one. I calmly placed the documents on the table without accusations, without raising my voice. The room became silent. No one shouted. No one argued. Because sometimes the truth does not need a loud voice. It carries its own weight. My mother looked at me, and maybe for the first time she realized that the daughter she always considered strong had a heart too. She had dreams, hopes, and feelings that mattered. I forgave her, but forgiveness did not mean I would forget myself again. Today I stand peacefully in my own life. My hair is not messy from fighting battles, my eyes are not filled with tears, and my heart is not burning with revenge. I simply took back what was mine. I reclaimed my voice, and I reclaimed the respect I had given away for years in exchange for other people's happiness. When I look back now, I do not hate my mother. I only remember the younger version of myself who spent so much time trying to make everyone else happy that she forgot herself. And today I understand that the greatest sacrifice is not how much you give up for others. It is knowing when you have given enough and when it is finally time to live for yourself. Because a woman who stays silent is not always weak. Sometimes she is simply waiting for the day when the truth becomes her voice. Thank you for staying with this story until the end. If this journey touched your heart or made you think differently about family, sacrifice, and self-worth, Please support us by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Your support means a lot and helps us continue sharing more powerful stories with you.